In a vast, sparkling expanse of space, a massive alien space station floated majestically. This was the Galactic Council, where leaders from various alien races met to discuss important matters of the universe. The station was bustling with activity, filled with beings of all shapes and colors, their voices blending into a lively hum. Holographic displays flickered above their heads, showing images of past wars and conflicts, each more intense than the last. Inside the Grand Assembly Hall, representatives gathered around a large, circular table. Among them was Zorath, a towering figure from the fierce Creole race. His skin shimmered like dark metal, and his sharp teeth glinted as he spoke. He was known for his strong opinions and warrior spirit, and today he was eager to share his thoughts. "Why are humans not fighting with us?" Zorath exclaimed, his voice booming across the hall. "They refuse to join us against the growing threats in the galaxy. This is a sign of weakness. They should be punished for their cowardice." Murmurs of agreement filled the room. The other council members nodded, their expressions revealing a mix of curiosity and disdain. Many believed that humans were inferior, primitive beings who were not worth considering as allies. They looked at Zorath, waiting for him to continue. "Look at their history," Zorath continued, gesturing dramatically. "They have fought each other for centuries, but when it comes to facing a common enemy, they shy away. It is disgraceful." As he spoke, Sarah Green, the human ambassador, entered the hall. She was small but stood tall with confidence. Her eyes sparkled with determination, and her presence commanded attention. The other delegates turned to her, surprised to see a human among them. There was an uncomfortable silence as she approached the table. Zorath scoffed, crossing his arms. "So, the humans have come to defend their cowardice," he sneered. "Explain yourselves, Ambassador. Why do you refuse to fight?" Sarah took a deep breath, feeling the weight of all their gazes on her. "We choose not to engage in wars for a reason," she began, her voice steady and clear. "We believe in finding solutions through understanding and compassion. We value life, even the lives of our enemies." Zorath laughed, a harsh sound that echoed through the hall. "Compassion," he scoffed. "In the face of war, you think that will save you? The galaxy is not a place for the weak." The other delegates watched, intrigued. They were eager to hear how this human would defend her species. Sarah knew she had to convey the essence of humanity's strength. "True strength is not about fighting, Zorath," Sarah replied, meeting his fierce gaze with unwavering courage. "It's about standing firm in our beliefs and choosing mercy over violence. We have learned through our own painful history that war only brings suffering and destruction." As she spoke, Zorath's expression shifted slightly. He was no longer laughing. There was something in Sarah's eyes that made him uneasy. The hall was silent, every being hanging on her words. "Mercy can be a form of strength," Sarah continued, her voice rising with passion. "When we refuse to fight, we show that we are above petty conflicts. We strive for peace, for a future where understanding prevails over violence. That is how we have survived." Suddenly, a dark figure appeared at the edge of the hall, cloaked in shadows. The atmosphere shifted, and the tension grew thick. The council members turned to face the newcomer, their eyes wide with surprise and caution. "Do not underestimate the true nature of strength," the figure warned in a low, chilling voice. The assembly fell silent, a sense of dread creeping into their hearts. The alien's form was indistinct, but its presence loomed heavily in the room. The council members exchanged worried glances, sensing danger. Zorath frowned, his pride stung. "What do you mean by that?" he asked, but the figure only smiled enigmatically. "You will understand soon enough," it replied, then melted back into the shadows from which it had come. The council was left in a state of confusion and uncertainty. Sarah's heart raced as she turned back to Zorath, sensing that this encounter was far from over. The room buzzed with whispers, and the council members were restless, unsure of what to believe. "Enough of this," Zorath roared, regaining his composure. We must take action. If humans refuse to fight, then we must deal with them accordingly. They cannot be trusted. Sarah felt a surge of anger but remained calm. You are wrong, Zoreth. We are not your enemies. We seek to be your allies, but trust takes time, and understanding is essential. The council members murmured again, torn between Zoreth's aggressive stance and Sarah's plea for unity. The tension in the air was palpable. Every being present felt the weight of the moment, aware that this decision could alter the course of their futures. Let us give the humans a chance to prove themselves, another council member suggested, hoping to diffuse the situation. Perhaps there is more to them than we realize. Zoreth glared at Sarah, his mind racing. Fine, I will give you a chance, but you must demonstrate your strength. You will participate in the upcoming challenge, and you will prove your worth. Very well, Sarah agreed, her resolve hardening. We will show you the strength of our mercy and our commitment to peace. But remember, Zoreth, true strength is not measured by weapons, but by the courage to choose compassion. The atmosphere shifted as the council began to settle into a tense acceptance of this new challenge. Sarah knew that this was just the beginning. They had to confront their misconceptions about humanity, and she was ready to lead the way. As she stood before the assembly, Sarah felt a mix of fear and determination. The path ahead would be challenging, but she knew that if they could face it together, they could change the galaxy forever. With her heart racing, she prepared to face whatever came next. Little did she know that the true test of humanity's strength was just beginning. The screen fades to black, leaving the audience eager to discover what would unfold next in this gripping tale of strength, mercy, and the unexpected role of humanity in the galaxy. The challenge begins. The Galactic Council had set the stage for the challenge, a massive arena designed for interstellar combat and competition. Alien spectators filled the stands, their cheers and roars echoing through the atmosphere. Sarah Green stood at the edge of the arena, her heart pounding as she gazed at the colossal structure. It was a world of advanced technology, with shimmering shields and holographic displays everywhere. Zoreth, the imposing Creole warrior, was pacing in front of her, his gaze fixed on the arena. His powerful frame loomed over her, casting a shadow that felt heavy. You will face our best warriors in a series of tests. You must prove that your mercy does not equate to weakness, he said, his voice a low growl. Sarah nodded, trying to maintain her composure. She knew the stakes were high. Failure could mean not only her own defeat, but also a significant setback for humanity in the eyes of the Galactic Council. Behind her, a small group of human observers had come to support her, their expressions a mix of worry and determination. The first challenge was about to begin. Zoreth raised his arm, signaling the start. Prepare for the combat test, he bellowed, and the crowd erupted into cheers. Sarah took a deep breath and stepped forward into the arena. The ground beneath her felt solid, yet it seemed to vibrate with the anticipation of the audience. As Sarah stood in the center, the lights dimmed, and holographic images of fierce creatures appeared around her. The challenge was simple. Defeat these holographic opponents using only her wit and agility, without weapons. The first creature, a massive beast with razor-sharp claws, lunged at her. Instinct kicked in. Sarah rolled to the side, narrowly avoiding its swipe. She felt the adrenaline surge through her, urging her to fight. The crowd gasped as she used her environment, leaping onto a nearby structure and launching herself off it, landing behind the beast. Smart move, one of the alien spectators yelled, surprising her. She was aware of their gazes, of the skepticism slowly shifting to intrigue. Using her agility, Sarah danced around the beast, dodging its attacks. She realized that she could not simply overpower her opponent. She needed to outsmart it. She spotted a small control panel on the wall nearby, a glimmer of hope. With a quick sprint, she reached it and pressed the button. The arena shifted, the walls illuminating and trapping the creature in a dazzling light. A hologram flickered, and with a loud crack, It vanished into thin air. The crowd erupted into applause. Sarah's heart raced with excitement. Maybe, just maybe, she could win their respect. As the second round began, Zoreth's expression darkened. "This is merely a hologram. Let's see how she fares against a real opponent," he shouted. With that, a new opponent entered the arena. This one was not a hologram, but a real alien warrior, a member of Zoreth's Creole race. The warrior was tall, muscular, and equipped with a gleaming blade. The crowd roared, eager for the battle that was about to unfold. "Show them the strength of the Creole," Zoreth yelled, excitement sparkling in his eyes. The Creole warrior charged at Sarah, blade flashing in the light. Fear rushed through her, but she quickly steeled her nerves. She had trained for this moment, even if her methods were unconventional. Sarah darted to the side, dodging the initial attack. The warrior was strong, but she had speed on her side. As the warrior swung again, Sarah ducked low and rolled under his arm, surprising him. She seized the moment to strike back, pushing him off balance with a swift kick to his legs. The Creole warrior stumbled but quickly recovered, a fierce grin on his face. The audience was on the edge of their seats, witnessing the unexpected resilience of the human. "She's not backing down," a voice shouted from the crowd. Sarah could feel their energy boosting her confidence. She circled the warrior, looking for an opening. In this moment, she realized that her strategy was to tire him out. Unlike her opponent, she had stamina. The Creole warrior charged again, but this time, Sarah sidestepped and used his momentum against him, causing him to crash into the arena wall. The crowd gasped as the warrior hit the ground, stunned. This was her chance. Sarah rushed in and applied a hold, using her body weight to keep him down. She had learned this technique from martial arts training, where the focus was on control rather than aggression. "Submit," she shouted, her heart pounding as she held him firmly. The Creole warrior struggled for a moment, but with the audience watching, he realized he could not win. He nodded in defeat, and the crowd erupted into applause. Zoreth's eyes widened in disbelief. "This is impossible," he exclaimed, his pride bruised. The arena lights brightened, and the announcer's voice boomed, declaring Sarah the victor of the second challenge. The crowd erupted into cheers, their voices ringing through the arena. Sarah couldn't believe it. She had won. But as she caught her breath, Sarah knew that this was just the beginning. Zoreth would not let her off easily. She needed to prove herself even further if she was to change their perceptions of humanity. As the third challenge was announced, she felt a wave of determination wash over her. She would show them that mercy could indeed be a form of strength. With the support of her fellow humans, she stepped forward, ready to face whatever challenge awaited her next. The crowd's energy surged around her, and Sarah smiled, knowing she had already begun to change their minds. She was here not just to fight, but to show the galaxy that humans had a unique strength, one born from compassion and courage. With her heart racing, she prepared for the next challenge, determined to leave her mark in this arena and prove that humanity's strength was more than mere survival. It was the heart of who they were. The camera zooms out, leaving the audience eager for the next chapter in Sarah's incredible journey. The power of mercy. As the cheers from the crowd echoed around her, Sarah Green felt a surge of confidence. The arena had become her stage, and the stakes were rising with each passing moment. She was determined to prove that humans were not just warriors, but beings of strength born from compassion and mercy. The announcer's voice boomed through the arena. "Welcome to the third challenge. This time, we will test Sarah Green's intellect and strategy in the puzzle of strength." The crowd murmured with excitement, their eyes shining with anticipation. The arena transformed once again, morphing into a large chamber filled with massive puzzles and obstacles, each designed to challenge both the mind and body. Zoreth, watching from the sidelines, had not yet regained his composure. He had witnessed Sarah's unexpected victories against the holographic beast and the Creole warrior, and now he wondered what else she could do. He had to admit there was something intriguing about her approach. Sarah stepped into the chamber, feeling the weight of the challenge ahead. Before her were towering structures made of shimmering metal, each adorned with strange symbols and intricate designs. She could hear the whispers of the audience behind her, some filled with skepticism, while others were rooting for her success. "Remember, human," Zorath called out. "Your strength will not win you this challenge. Only your mind can do that." "Just watch me," Sarah replied, her determination unwavering. She approached the first puzzle, which consisted of massive interlocking gears. The objective was to arrange them in a specific sequence to unlock the door leading to the next challenge. Sarah knelt beside the gears, studying them closely. The gears were not just random shapes. They had unique symbols carved into them. With each gear she moved, she tried to connect the symbols to a pattern she remembered from her studies. Sarah had always been good at puzzles and strategy games back on Earth. As she began to shift the gears into place, she could hear the murmurs of the crowd behind her. "Will she figure it out?" one alien spectator whispered. "I don't know. These puzzles are designed to test even the best of us," another replied. But Sarah's focus remained unbroken. The first gear clicked into place, followed by another. The crowd grew silent, watching with bated breath as she worked. The gears were heavy, and her arms strained as she moved them, but she pressed on. With a final turn, the last gear fell into place. The mechanism whirred and clicked, and the enormous door slowly creaked open, revealing the next challenge. The audience erupted into applause, their cheers ringing in her ears. "Impressive," Zorath admitted, his expression shifting from skepticism to respect. As Sarah stepped through the door, she entered a new area filled with thick vines and obstacles. The air was humid, and the scent of strange flowers filled her senses. In the center stood a towering pillar adorned with symbols she recognized from her studies, each representing a different value: strength, wisdom, courage, and mercy. A voice boomed through the chamber. "To proceed, you must prove your understanding of these values. Choose one and explain its importance. But beware, a wrong answer will lead to your disqualification." Sarah hesitated for a moment. Which value should she choose? She had seen strength and courage throughout the arena, but mercy was the one that resonated with her the most. It was the very core of her beliefs and her journey. With conviction, she stepped forward and placed her hand on the symbol of mercy. "I choose mercy," she declared, her voice steady. "Mercy is not a weakness. It shows strength of character. In war, mercy can save lives and bring peace. It's the ability to understand the value of life, even in the face of conflict. True strength is knowing when to fight and when to spare." As her words echoed through the chamber, the pillar began to glow. The vines surrounding her shifted, parting to reveal a path forward. The audience erupted in cheers, their respect for her growing with every challenge she overcame. "Impressive reasoning, human," Zorath shouted, his voice filled with surprise. "You truly understand what it means to be strong." With renewed energy, Sarah pressed on. The next challenge awaited her, and she was ready to face whatever came next. She emerged from the vine-filled chamber into an open arena, where her final opponent stood waiting. This opponent was unlike any she had faced before, a sleek, silver creature with glowing eyes and sharp, angular features stood tall and imposing. It was a Noxian, known for their combat prowess and speed. Sarah felt a wave of anxiety wash over her, but she quickly shook it off. "Remember, Sarah," she whispered to herself, "you have the strength of humanity behind you." Zorath stepped forward again, his expression serious. "This is the combat of mercy. Defeat the Noxian without lethal force. Show us that your mercy can outmatch their strength." The crowd held its breath, the tension palpable. Sarah squared her shoulders, preparing for the fight of her life. The Noxian charged at her, moving like a blur. She had to think fast. This wasn't just about physical strength, it was about strategy. As the Noxian closed in, Sarah sidestepped at the last moment, causing the creature to stumble. She could feel the audience's eyes on her, their disbelief turning into admiration. As the fight continued, Sarah used her agility to dodge and weave, always looking for a non-lethal way to win. She blocked the Noxian's strikes, redirecting its energy back at it, showing that even in combat, mercy could prevail. Finally, as the Noxian prepared for a fierce strike, Sarah seized the moment. Instead of retaliating, she ducked low and swept the Noxian's legs out from under it. The creature fell hard, but she did not pursue the victory with aggression. Instead, she reached out a hand to help it up. "Yield," she said firmly, but gently, her voice strong yet compassionate. The Noxian stared at her, its glowing eyes wide with surprise. After a moment, it nodded, accepting defeat. The crowd erupted into cheers, a mix of awe and respect filling the arena. Zorath raised his hands, silencing the crowd. "You have shown us today that mercy is not a weakness. You fought not to destroy, but to understand." Sarah smiled, feeling a wave of relief wash over her. She had achieved what she set out to do. The crowd had seen the strength in her actions, and she hoped they would carry this lesson into their understanding of humanity. As the arena lights dimmed, Sarah took a deep breath, ready to embrace whatever came next. She had proved her point, but her journey was far from over. The Galactic Council had seen her strength, and she would continue to show them the true essence of humanity in the challenges ahead. The camera faded out, leaving the audience eager for what lay in store for Sarah and the lessons that would unfold in the upcoming parts of the story. As the arena began to empty, Sarah Green felt a mix of exhaustion and exhilaration. She had faced formidable challenges and emerged not only victorious, but also with newfound respect from the alien spectators. However, the real test lay ahead. The meeting with the Galactic Council. The Galactic Council was a powerful assembly of representatives from the most influential alien races in the galaxy. Their decision about humanity's role in intergalactic affairs had far-reaching implications. Would they recognize the strength of mercy that Sarah had demonstrated, or would they remain entrenched in their prejudices against humans? In the grand chamber where the council met, tall pillars of luminescent crystal surrounded a circular table. The atmosphere was charged with tension as representatives from various races took their seats. Sarah stood before them, flanked by Zorath, who was still visibly impressed by her previous performances. The head of the council, a towering figure with multiple eyes and tentacles, looked down at her. "Human," it began, its voice echoing through the chamber. "You have surprised us in the arena. You demonstrated qualities we did not expect from your kind. However, the question remains, why should we allow humans to engage in galactic affairs?" Sarah took a deep breath, gathering her thoughts. "I understand your concerns. Humans have a history of conflict, but we also have a history of compassion. We can bring unique perspectives to the Council and contribute to peace rather than war." A representative from the Varnak race, known for their brutal tactics and martial prowess, scoffed. "Peace? Your kind is known for its violence. How can we trust that you will not turn on us the moment it benefits you?" Zorath interjected. "That's precisely why Sarah is here, to show you that humanity is capable of understanding, even if their history is tainted by conflict. If we dismiss them outright, we lose an opportunity for collaboration." The council members murmured among themselves, their varied expressions revealing skepticism and intrigue. Sarah could sense the stakes were high, and she needed to sway them. "Let me tell you about the strength of mercy," she began, her voice steady. "In our history, we have learned that compassion often leads to stronger bonds than conflict ever could. I can share stories of forgiveness and cooperation that have built bridges between even the most divided factions." She paused, looking at each member of the council. "What if we could work together, combining our strengths? Imagine a galaxy where differences are celebrated rather than feared." The tension in the room shifted slightly. A representative from the Rylori race, known for their wisdom and diplomacy, leaned forward. "You speak of cooperation, but can you provide an example from your past that exemplifies this?" Sarah thought for a moment and recalled a significant event in human history: the end of apartheid in South Africa. In my world, we had a long history of division and hatred, but a leader named Nelson Mandela showed us the power of forgiveness. He led a movement for peace and unity, promoting healing rather than retribution. It took years, but it transformed a nation. She noticed the council members exchanging glances. This is what I wish to bring to our interactions: the ability to reconcile differences and foster understanding. The head of the council, still skeptical, asked, "And what makes you think your kind will not revert to violence when faced with challenges?" Sarah was ready for this. We recognize our flaws, and we learn from them. Our mistakes have shaped our character. We are evolving, striving for a future where mercy and cooperation guide our actions. The murmurs in the chamber grew louder. Zoreth took a step forward. "If you allow her to demonstrate humanity's potential, you may find that we are not the threat you believe us to be." Suddenly, the council's mood shifted. A representative from the Torquay race, a species known for their tactical brilliance, leaned back in their chair and crossed their arms. "Perhaps we have underestimated you, human, but actions speak louder than words. Are you willing to prove your commitment to peace through further challenges?" Sarah nodded firmly. "I will do whatever it takes to show you that mercy is a strength, not a weakness." The head of the council stroked its tentacles thoughtfully. "Very well. We will give you a chance to prove your words through the trial of unity. If you succeed, you may earn your place among us. Fail, and the decision to keep humanity out of galactic affairs will stand." Sarah felt a wave of relief mixed with trepidation. She had been given an opportunity, but the weight of expectation was heavy. She knew the upcoming trial would be her most significant challenge yet. As the council meeting concluded, Sarah and Zoreth left the chamber, the tension still palpable in the air. "You did well in there," Zoreth said, his voice filled with respect. "But the trial of unity is no small feat. You will face representatives from different races, and they will test your resolve and understanding of unity." "I know," Sarah replied, determination filling her heart. "But I'm ready. We can't let fear dictate our future." The two walked through the halls of the council chamber, each step echoing with the possibility of change. As they prepared for the trial of unity, Sarah reflected on her journey. She had fought battles, both physical and mental, and now it was time to fight for the future of humanity. In her heart, she knew she had the strength to face whatever came next. She would show them that mercy was the true mark of strength, and that humanity could be a force for unity in the galaxy. The camera faded out, leaving the audience eager for the next part of Sarah's journey. A journey that would test not just her strength, but her very ideals of mercy and unity in a galaxy that often misunderstood them. The day of the trial of unity dawned with an air of palpable tension. Sarah Green stood before the vast arena, her heart pounding in her chest. She could feel the eyes of countless alien spectators upon her, each representing a different race with their own histories, cultures, and values. This trial was her opportunity to prove that humanity was more than its past mistakes. It was a chance to showcase the strength of mercy and cooperation. The arena itself was a grand structure, filled with colorful banners and intricate designs, showcasing the various alien civilizations. Spectators filled the stands, murmuring in anticipation. Sarah felt both excitement and fear as she stepped into the center, where the trial would take place. Zoreth, her alien ally, stood nearby, offering silent support. "You can do this, Sarah," he said, his voice steady. "Remember, this is not just about you. It's about all of humanity." The head of the Galactic Council, the same towering figure with multiple eyes, rose from its seat. Its voice boomed across the arena. "Welcome to the trial of unity. Today we will test the strength of the human spirit, the capacity for understanding, and the ability to cooperate with different races. Let the trial begin." As the crowd erupted in cheers and applause, Sarah took a deep breath, focusing on her purpose. She had prepared for this moment, but now that it was here, she felt the weight of the galaxy's expectations on her shoulders. The first challenge was a test of communication and understanding. 4 representatives from different alien races stood in a circle, each with unique abilities and languages. Sarah was tasked with facilitating a discussion between them, encouraging cooperation on a project that would benefit all their species. The representatives, however, did not make it easy. The first, a tall, slender being from the Synth race, spoke rapidly in a complex language that twisted Sarah's understanding. The second, a bulky creature from the Korek race, grunted and gestured, clearly frustrated with the Synth. The third, a shimmering entity from the Marillions, floated gracefully but seemed disinterested, while the fourth, a small furry being from the Farkle race, looked confused. "All right," Sarah began, her voice calm yet firm. "Let's take a step back. We are here to find common ground, not to argue. Each of your races has unique strengths. How can we combine them?" The Synth spoke again, this time more slowly, but it was still difficult to understand. Sarah asked questions, translating the emotions behind the words into simpler terms. She noticed the Korak becoming more engaged as Sarah acknowledged his concerns about the Synth's speed in negotiations. As they discussed, Sarah encouraged the representatives to listen actively. Gradually, they began to see the value in each other's perspectives. The Marillion floated closer, intrigued by the ideas being shared, while a Farkle chimed in with suggestions, creating a bridge between the larger, more imposing figures. After what felt like hours, the group finally settled on a collaborative project, a shared resource management system that would benefit all their races. As they reached an agreement, the audience erupted into applause. Sarah beamed with pride, knowing that she had successfully demonstrated the power of communication and collaboration. Next came the second challenge, a physical trial that tested cooperation and strategy. Sarah found herself in a large obstacle course designed to simulate a crisis scenario, where representatives had to work together to reach a goal. Each race had its unique abilities, and they needed to combine them effectively to succeed. As the challenge began, Sarah strategized with her team, highlighting their strengths. The Synth was quick and agile. The Korak was strong and resilient. The Marillion had the ability to manipulate the environment. And the Farkle was resourceful and inventive. "Let's divide into pairs," Sarah instructed. The Synth and Korak will handle the physical barriers, while the Marillion and Farkle focus on adapting to obstacles. I'll coordinate the movements. They started the course, facing various challenges. The first obstacle was a wall that required strength to climb. The Korak easily scaled it, helping the others up. Next, they faced a maze that constantly shifted. The Marillion quickly adapted the environment, creating pathways while the Synth navigated through with speed. With each obstacle they overcame, the bonds between the races grew stronger. They began to communicate without words, their movements synchronized as they learned to rely on each other. Sarah felt a surge of hope as she witnessed unity in action. As they neared the finish line, a sudden barrier dropped, separating them from their goal. Panic began to rise among the group, but Sarah quickly intervened. "We've come too far to give up now. Remember, we're stronger together. Let's find a way to lift this barrier as a team." The representatives joined forces, using their combined strength, agility, and creativity. Together, they pushed against the barrier, their determination palpable. With a final effort, they lifted it just enough for Sarah to slip through and reach the finish line. As Sarah crossed the line, the arena erupted with cheers. She had successfully shown that even the most diverse groups could work together for a common goal. With the challenges complete, the council convened once again, the atmosphere buzzing with excitement. The head of the council rose to address the crowd. "Today, we have witnessed the strength of unity and the potential of cooperation. Sarah Green has demonstrated that mercy and understanding are powerful tools. Humanity may indeed have a place among us." Sarah felt a wave of relief wash over her. She had proven that humans could be more than warriors. They could be peacemakers, capable of fostering understanding across the galaxy. As the audience applauded, Sarah knew her journey was far from over. The trial had opened a door, but she would need to continue to fight for humanity's place in the galactic community. But for now, she could bask in the joy of this victory, knowing that she had shown the galaxy the true strength of humanity. The camera faded out, leaving viewers eager for the next chapter of Sarah's journey, a journey that had only just begun, one where humanity would strive to prove that mercy was indeed a form of strength. The revelation of strength. In the aftermath of the trial of unity, Sarah Green stood before the Galactic Council, her heart still racing from the events of the day. She had accomplished what many thought was impossible. She had shown the galaxy that humanity was capable of more than mere warfare. As she looked out at the assembly of alien representatives, she felt a mix of pride and anticipation for what lay ahead. The head of the Galactic Council, the towering figure with its multiple eyes, gestured for silence. "We have witnessed something remarkable today," it declared. "Sarah Green has proven that humans possess not only strength, but also the ability to unify diverse races. However, there is more to uncover about the true nature of humanity. The Council wishes to understand why humans have historically chosen peace over war." The atmosphere in the chamber shifted, a blend of curiosity and skepticism permeating the air. Alien students whispered among themselves, intrigued yet unsure about this newfound perspective on humans. Sarah stepped forward, determined to share her people's story. "Thank you for this opportunity. Humans have faced countless challenges throughout our history. We've engaged in wars, yes, but we've also learned from them. We've come to understand that true strength lies not in the ability to destroy, but in the power to create and nurture." The alien representatives listened intently, some leaning forward in their seats. Zorath, standing by Sarah's side, nodded in agreement. "This is a crucial moment, Sarah. Explain to them how our past has shaped our future." Taking a deep breath, Sarah recounted key moments in human history, moments that showcased resilience, compassion, and innovation. "During the darkest times of war, we found ways to protect those who could not protect themselves. We learned to build alliances and forge peace. This is why many of us believe in mercy as a strength rather than a weakness." As Sarah spoke, she noticed the mixed reactions among the alien students. Some appeared skeptical, while others were genuinely moved by her words. She pressed on, emphasizing the importance of empathy and cooperation. "Consider the relationships we've built. In times of crisis, humans often rise to the occasion, helping those in need regardless of their species. We've collaborated on scientific advancements, environmental preservation, and humanitarian efforts across our planet and beyond." One of the students, a curious synth girl named Ilara, raised her hand. "But if humans are so strong in mercy, why are you not part of the Galactic Alliance? Why are you barred from war?" Sarah looked at Ilara, recognizing the genuine curiosity behind her question. "That is a complicated matter. While many in our history believed in fighting for survival, there are those who misunderstood our capacity for compassion. The fear of human unpredictability has led to our exclusion, but we wish to change that perception." The head of the council leaned in, its multiple eyes focused on Sarah. "And how do you intend to do that? How can we trust that your kind will not return to violence?" "By showing you our commitment to peace and collaboration," Sarah replied, her voice steady. "If we are given a chance to participate in galactic affairs, we will prove that humans can be allies in the pursuit of peace, not conflict. We want to share our knowledge, to learn from you, and to stand by you when facing threats." As she spoke, the audience began to murmur. It was a blend of skepticism and intrigue, the seeds of understanding being planted in their minds. Sarah felt hopeful. Perhaps this was the moment that would reshape humanity's place in the galaxy. Suddenly, the council's head raised a hand to quiet the room. "Your words carry weight, Sarah Green. However, we must ensure that humanity is ready for this responsibility. Therefore, we propose a series of trials. Trials that will test your commitment to our values and your capacity to act in unity with other races." Sarah felt a mixture of excitement and trepidation. This was an opportunity, but it would also be a challenge. She exchanged a glance with Zoreth, who offered an encouraging nod. "We will accept these trials," she declared, determination filling her voice. "We are ready to demonstrate our strength through cooperation." The council deliberated for a moment. Then the head spoke again. "Very well. We will announce the details of the trials soon. But remember, Sarah, your actions will determine humanity's future in this galaxy. The path ahead will not be easy." As the council adjourned, Sarah felt a wave of relief wash over her. She had taken a significant step towards altering the perception of humanity among the stars. Yet she also felt the weight of responsibility. Back in the communal space, alien students approached her, curious about her experiences. They wanted to hear her story, to learn about the challenges humans faced and how they overcame them. Sarah shared tales of exploration, resilience, and the lessons learned from both war and peace. One student, a small, bright-eyed Farkle named Tivi, spoke up. "Your stories inspire us, Sarah. I never thought humans could be so complex. We always saw you as just warriors." Sarah smiled, grateful for the understanding. "We are many things, Tivi, just like you, and together we can build something incredible." As the day turned into night, the communal space filled with laughter and conversation. Students from various races shared their own stories, learning from one another in a way that transcended their differences. Sarah felt a sense of hope blossom within her. Perhaps this was the beginning of a new chapter not only for humanity, but for the entire galaxy. A chapter written through understanding, compassion, and unity. As the stars twinkled outside, Sarah knew that the upcoming trials would be challenging. But with allies by her side and a shared vision for the future, she believed that humanity's place in the galaxy was on the brink of transformation. With determination, she embraced the challenges ahead, ready to prove that mercy was indeed a form of strength. The day of the trials arrived, and excitement buzzed through the grand hall of the Galactic Academy. Aliens of all shapes and sizes filled the amphitheater, their eyes fixed on the central stage, where Sarah Green and her fellow human representatives stood, ready to demonstrate humanity's commitment to peace and cooperation. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation, and whispers filled the air as students and council members speculated on the outcome. The head of the Galactic Council, with its multitude of eyes shimmering under the artificial lights, stepped forward. "Today marks a pivotal moment in our history. We will witness humanity's trials to determine their worthiness for inclusion in the Galactic Alliance. These trials will test not only their strength, but also their ability to work alongside other races in harmony." Sarah took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment. She glanced at her companions, Zoreth, who stood tall and proud, and two other humans, Mia and Leo, who were equally determined. Together, they had prepared for this day, understanding that their actions would define humanity's future in the galaxy. "The first trial will test your strategic thinking," the council had continued. "You will participate in a simulated conflict scenario where you must collaborate with students from different races to achieve a common goal without resorting to violence." As the words sank in, the students were led to a vast, holographic arena. The scenario projected before them depicted a distant planet under threat from an approaching asteroid swarm. The objective was clear: devise a plan to save the planet and its inhabitants. As the simulation began, the alien students and humans quickly split into teams, strategizing their approach. Sarah found herself working alongside Ilara, the Zinth girl who had asked the important questions in their earlier discussions. Together, they mapped out the best approach. "Why don't we use a combination of our technology and your skills?" Ilara suggested, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Your engineering capabilities could help us build a device to deflect the asteroids." Sarah nodded enthusiastically. "And we can coordinate with the other teams to maximize our resources. Let's reach out to the Vexians. Their gravitational technology could be crucial in this plan." The teamwork blossomed, with each alien race contributing its unique strengths. They built a complex device that combined human engineering with synth agility and Vexian gravitational technology. The simulation unfolded, and their device worked beautifully, pushing the asteroids away from the planet. Cheers erupted in the arena as they watched their success unfold. After the simulation, the council members conferred, nodding in approval. "This trial demonstrated your ability to work collaboratively," the head announced. "However, we have 2 more trials to evaluate your capacity for peace." The second trial focused on conflict resolution. In a simulated environment, the participants faced a disagreement among different alien factions. Sarah was paired with an aggressive Groxian student named Turo, known for his quick temper. As they entered the simulation, tensions ran high. Turo's race was notorious for its combative nature, and Sarah could feel his irritation as their factions clashed over resource distribution. "Why should we listen to humans? You're not even warriors," Turo shouted, fists clenched. "Because we know the consequences of conflict," Sarah replied calmly, choosing her words carefully. "If we don't find common ground, we risk losing everything. Let's talk about our concerns and find a solution together." At first, Turo resisted, but Sarah's calm demeanor began to soften his approach. She suggested a roundtable discussion, inviting representatives from both sides to voice their opinions. Slowly, they began to negotiate, focusing on shared goals rather than differences. By the end of the simulation, they had crafted a compromise, redistributing resources to benefit both factions. When the trial concluded, the council members appeared impressed. "Your ability to foster understanding and resolution is commendable, Sarah. But the final trial will truly test your character." The last trial was a real-time mission. The participants were transported to a simulated disaster site where a catastrophic event had occurred. They had to work quickly to rescue alien victims while keeping the peace among panicking survivors. Sarah and her team rushed to assess the situation. They encountered terrified beings from multiple races, all scrambling for safety. Sarah immediately recognized that this was not just about saving lives. It was also about maintaining order and compassion amidst chaos. "Everyone, we need to stay calm," Sarah shouted, her voice cutting through the noise. "Follow us to the safe zone. We have medical teams ready to help you." Zorath and Mia worked together to establish a perimeter, while Leo assisted in calming frightened children. Sarah moved through the crowd, tending to those in need, her heart racing as she realized the gravity of their task. The council watched from above, observing how Sarah and her team navigated the chaos with poise and empathy. With each life saved, the atmosphere shifted from fear to hope. Their united efforts began to inspire trust among the frightened survivors. When the dust settled and the simulation ended, the council head spoke again, its voice filled with reverence. "You have faced every trial with grace, demonstrating not only strength, but also the heart of what it means to be a true ally. Humanity's capacity for mercy, compassion, and cooperation has been displayed here today." As the council prepared to make its decision, Sarah felt a wave of anticipation wash over her. She exchanged hopeful glances with her teammates. This was it, the moment that could change everything for humanity. The head of the council raised a hand to silence the crowd. "We have reached a decision. Humanity is no longer to be barred from participation in the Galactic Alliance. You will be welcomed as equals, with the understanding that you must continue to prove your commitment to peace and unity." Cheers erupted throughout the amphitheater. Sarah felt tears of joy fill her eyes as she hugged Zorath, Mia, and Leo tightly. They had done it. Humanity had been given a chance to forge a new path alongside the stars. As the celebration continued, Sarah stood at the forefront, looking out at the diverse assembly of beings. She realized that this moment was more than just a victory for humans. It was a victory for understanding and compassion across the galaxy. Together, they would face the challenges ahead, proving that mercy is indeed a form of strength, and that unity is the key to a brighter future for all species.